Hi everyone, this is the Ask Annie podcast, Horse Girl reviews on products you use. We feature a special guest on today's episode and would like to thank Russell Mueller, Nutrena's U.S. Retail Equine Marketing Manager, for being a part of this week's episode. Now there's more to love from SafeChoice. Nutrena Feeds has updated the product line to offer even more balanced nutrients and more products to choose from, all with a great taste your horse will enjoy. So whether you're looking for more performance results or simply healthy benefits for more quality time together, you'll get more peace of mind when you feed SafeChoice. See what's new and find a retailer near you at nutrenaworld.com/safechoice. Thank you for joining us today, Russell. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your life prior to Nutrena?
Yeah, Annie, this is Russell Mueller. I'm the Equine Product and Marketing Manager for Nutrena for the U.S. business. And my life before Nutrena, well, I grew up in horses. I showed my first horse at the age of 2. My family showed horses, and I grew up in central Kansas. So started showing Appaloosas, and then eventually changed and converted to quarter horses when I was in high school. And from there, my dad was a farrier, and so I grew up. Not only did he train horses, but he shod horses, and he ended up getting hurt and ended up going to work for the local feed mill. And so when I turned 16, I also went to work for him in the feed mill as a summertime job, and I kind of started down my path of combining feed with my passion and lifelong experience with horses. From there, I kind of figured I didn't want to work in the feed mill for the rest of my life. So I did go on and get a master's degree in equine nutrition. So I understood the nutritional logic and the nutrition and the nutrients and all the science that went into making the feed, and tried to wrap it all into one package for my career since then.
Awesome. And I did some research and found that you kind of give back to that nutritional research. You do some specialized equine nutritional talks. Can you give us a little bit of insight on those?
Yeah. When I was going through grad school, as a graduate student, you always, TA or, help your professor teach. And I really enjoyed the education and the teaching part. I maybe didn't like the interaction I got from some of the students, because they were just going through a class. But when I started my career, what I found, and it's probably the number one thing I enjoy doing today, is giving back and educating, whether it's horse owners or veterinarians or feed retailers, about nutrition, because they're so interested. They're like sponges. They want to absorb that information to go apply it to, whether it's a customer of theirs or it's from a horse owner standpoint, how do they go apply it to their horses? And so if anytime I typically get a request to do a speaking opportunity, if I've got a time in my schedule, I'm jumping on it, because that's how we share the information out of what nutrition is, really at the grassroots and maybe a little more detailed level than we can through a media campaign or an advertising campaign or a commercial, because there's so many passionate people out there that really want to know the nuts and bolts of what goes into nutrition. And it allows me to be the professor without working at a university.
Definitely. Well, that's fantastic. And it's so neat that you go in and you talk and you really get to help people where they are, which is just awesome. What does your horse life look like now? Are you still riding? Do you have horses?
Yes. My wife is my trainer. And so my wife runs a quarter horse training operation in central Oklahoma, is a member of AQHA Professional Horsemen. And she would probably tell you I'm her worst customer.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I have a horse in the barn. Probably don't ride as much as I should, but I continue to compete when I have time in amateur AQHA all-around competition, Western pleasure, trail, showmanship, horsemanship. classes like that. We just got back last night. She had a customer competing at the AQHA World Show, and so we're into horses up to our eyeballs, which is where we want to be. Our 8-year-old daughter is beginning to show, and so we're in it any way we can.
Awesome. And it's a family affair. That's so cool.
It is.
Switching to the business side, what is your usual day like at Nutrena?
Every day is different. I'll be real honest. And it can range from, long-term planning around trying to uncover that unmet need, that next unmet need of horse owners for the next 5 to 10 years. What are they wanting? What are they not getting met today? To being on the phone with, a veterinarian or an owner about specific product and nutrition questions they have about what we have, do today. So it's very wide ranging. You never know what any day is going to bring, which is good, keeps you on your toes. But I think a lot of my focus today and the role I am in as managing the equine business for Nutrena is what's next. Okay, we're going to talk about SafeChoice here. We've got SafeChoice in the market. What is next? How do we keep evolving? How do we keep bringing new exciting products to the market for horse owners that bring them real value, bring them real nutrition that changes their lives and changes the lives of their horses? What I spend a lot of my time focusing on.
Absolutely. And what do you enjoy the most, would you say?
Outside of, anytime I get to speaking, it's that long-term planning, trying to uncover what's next. And we do that a lot of different ways, going out and talking to our sales teams. They're on the front lines. They're the ones talking to horse owners every day, from a wide variety of disciplines and regions of the country. So getting feedback from them, talking to consumers, to actually go talking to that horse owner where we can, whether that's via media and all that. But really the thing that brings me the greatest satisfaction in what my role is today is coming up with that next great innovation. Before my current position, I was in an product development role. So really that product development life cycle of how do we bring new valuable products to the market that deliver true science and nutrition and value and results to the horses is the most important to me.
Yeah. And do you have any favorite products? I know we're going to talk about SafeChoice a little bit, but do you have any other favorites?
I don't know that I do. I mean, and that sounds bad. It's all of them. It's the portfolio. It's the breadth of the offering that excites me the most, because, if what my favorite product could be personally isn't relevant for another horse owner. So in my role, I got to manage and look at and evaluate and love all of them. SafeChoice obviously is a huge product in the market. So, it grabs a lot of attention, but we've got a lot of other exciting things in Nutrena with our ProForce line, what we do with Empower. Our Triumph offering is really exciting and growing well. They're all exciting because they all serve a need, either from an animal owner, from the owner's desire or perspective, or for the animal itself. And so you gotta love all of them.
Yeah, definitely. I like how you said the portfolio. They all kind of work together, which is really cool.
They have to work together. I would say probably 20 years ago, I've been in my working career for 20 years now. When I started 20 years ago, it was, there was a lot less offering out there, a lot less products out there. We tried to make one size fit all. And the more we know about nutrition and the more we know about the desires and the wants and the needs of the horse owner, we know that doesn't work. They want to feel like they've got something custom for their horse. And that's, you got to build a portfolio of products to meet those needs.
Yeah, and a new product in that portfolio, like we mentioned earlier, is SafeChoice. Can you tell us a little bit about the process of launching SafeChoice and how Nutrena got to the formula of SafeChoice that they have today?
Yeah. Yes, we just relaunched SafeChoice in October. It's really an evolution of SafeChoice. The product line's been in the market since 2003. But this current relaunch that we just are in the middle of right now, I can trace it back to, we probably really started looking at this about 2 years ago. You know, as you look at your products and you look at, okay, what's next, what's new, what's changing, what needs, you know, we really started to investigate what that next evolution for SafeChoice needed to be. Did some research, did some animal research around our amino acid profiles to help refine them. What did we need to tweak on them to produce better results that the horse owner could see? And then we went out and actually talked to former, you know, people that had left SafeChoice and current SafeChoice horse owners and said, okay, what do you like and not like about SafeChoice? You know, get it from the horse's mouth per se. And then we took all of that information to design the products. You know, so we had initial product design, and then, you know, we had consumer research, we had animal research, all wrapped up into one. Once we designed the products, then we did palatability and field trial testing of the final products to just verify that, to ensure that what we designed delivered what we said it was going to. You know, at one time, probably within this project, we had 10 people assigned to the core team within our business, all working on different aspects of it. And probably upwards of 50 people had, you know, touched the tentacles of it, all, you know, working on bag design, photo shoots, product design, media campaigns, you name it. You know, we really did it to take SafeChoice to the next level.
Wow, it sounds like quite a process. It's really neat to hear that. And you mentioned those amino acids. What are those 3 amino acids that SafeChoice guarantees, and why are they so critical to horse owners?
Yeah, so in the SafeChoice line, we guarantee lysine, methionine, and threonine amino acids. So amino acids are the building blocks of protein. And I look at, or I always describe amino acids as like the alphabet that makes up the words. Protein is the words and the sentences that we read, but it's made up of 26 letters. Amino acids are the letters that make up proteins. And then there are certain amino acids that we call essential amino acids that are like the vowels in our English language, A, E, I, O, and U. No one's ever proven me wrong on this yet, but I'm sure someone will. You can't create a word in the English language without a vowel.
I like that.
For a horse, I don't think you can. We're inventing a lot of new words today. You know, they say Webster's dictionary is growing all the time, but you can't create a word without a vowel. Same principle applies when it comes to protein. You can't create good quality protein for a horse without essential amino acids. Lysine, methionine, and threonine are 3 of the 10 essential amino acids that the horse has to take in through the diet. There's about 20 that are 20 in nature that are out there that they need nutritionally. They can create everything else internally outside of those 10. The better we are at supplying those essential amino acids, the better muscle response, hair coat response, hoof quality response the horse will deliver. And when we guarantee those amino acids on the label, they're guaranteed by law. They're in there at that level. We're transparent with what we're supplying on those feeds. And that's what we do with SafeChoice. Lysine is typically what's called the first limiting or the most important of the essential amino acids. That'd probably like E in my vowel analogy. E is probably the most common vowel. Lysine is the most important, but methionine and threonine are also very critical. So top line, hair coat, muscle, all that stuff is driven by amino acids. By guaranteeing those levels right on the bag, we assure that we're delivering that to the consumer. They know what they are, and they have that peace of mind to deliver the results.
Absolutely. And what other benefits do the ingredients in SafeChoice? What are those other benefits?
Yeah, outside of the amino acids, which we've spent a lot of time and effort talking about with the SafeChoice line, if you go over SafeChoice's lifespan and history, it really started the controlled starch, looking at controlling starch in feed diets, listing the starch and sugar levels on the feedback. SafeChoice really pioneered that back in 2003. Nobody else, to my knowledge, was doing that in any feed line of saying, here's what our maximum starch and sugar levels are on the feed. So that horse owners that maybe had different metabolic conditions or hyperactivity or whatever knew how to manage that, gave them the information to better manage their horses. We had pre and probiotics. yeast cultures, lactobacillus from a gut health and a digestibility standpoint. We add organic trace minerals. So organic trace minerals are trace minerals like copper, zinc, that are attached to an organic molecule. In this case, they're attached to an amino acid versus attached to rock. And so they're more digestible to the horse. All of that packaged together, omega-3 fatty acids, all that packaged together creates what the SafeChoice line is. It's not one magic bullet in there that makes, SafeChoice so good. It's the combination of all of those functional ingredients together into the SafeChoice package that delivers the results.
Definitely. And there are 3 options I noticed for feeding SafeChoice.
Yep.
What are those differences and the 3 different audiences, you could say, for those 3 options?
Yeah, we added 3 new products to the SafeChoice relaunch. Before this relaunch, there was 6 core products to SafeChoice: SafeChoice Original, Senior, Maintenance, Special Care, and Mare and Foal, and then also our SafeChoice Perform. With this relaunch, we tweaked those 6 formulas, upgraded the amino acid profile, tweaked some starch and sugar levels to drive them down further. But we also launched these 3 new products: SafeChoice Senior LM, which is a version of our SafeChoice Senior, which is a very, very popular senior feed on the market, but we reduced the molasses levels. So that's what the LM stands for, lower molasses. For those horses and horse owners that wanted even lower sugar levels in their feeds. So it's designed for that senior horse with the lower sugar requirement in mind. Then we also launched SafeChoice Perform Textured and Mare and Foal Textured. So the SafeChoice line prior to this relaunch was all pelleted feeds, was all pellet. But there's a very good percentage of horse owners, 20 to 30% based on the averages, that want to buy a textured feed. They want to see the grains. They want to see oats. They want to see some corn. And so we added that to the SafeChoice line. But we still brought in that controlled starch and sugar level. So they're that textured feed offering, but with controlled or managed starch and sugar levels, because there wasn't really a lot in the marketplace where, textured feeds the competition hadn't gone there. They hadn't guaranteed and locked in those starch and sugar levels. We did that with the 2 SafeChoice textured products with Perform and Mare and Foal. And then now, today, we have the Perform pellet that we had before, and now the Perform textured. Into the 2 Perform products, we added a marine-sourced calcite, which is a marine-sourced calcium source that has enhanced buffering capacity for horses that may be dealing with various forms of gastric upset or ulcers. That buffer, when it hits the stomach, just buffers and helps manage any stomach acid that's occurring during that time by adding this marine-sourced calcite to our 2 Perform products. And that really plays in the most into the performance horse, where that's the biggest issue. We know ulcers are very, very high in the performance horse segment, and not as high in those non-performing horses. So we've focused that technology around the performance horse where they're at biggest risk.
Interesting. And how should a horse owner feed SafeChoice for maximum results?
Whether it's SafeChoice or really any feed, there's nothing magic that makes this different for SafeChoice versus any other feeds. Follow feeding directions. It's probably one of those things that when we get a question of, how much are you feeding, and following the feeding directions. We design those feeding directions to meet the nutritional needs of that horse. So read that tag. We've got it listed on our feed tags. Also, we got really simple examples on the back of our bags for the entire SafeChoice line that break it down into really practical, hey, for this type of horse, feed this many pounds a day. Probably split up into twice-a-day feedings at least, but also combine it with really good hay, or at least know what your hay is. The foundation of any horse's diet is their hay. I work for a feed company, and we're all about selling feed for a living, but the only purpose of a feed is to make up the nutrition that's not supplied by the horse's hay and forage source. So that's the base, that's the foundation. and then SafeChoice comes in and fills those gaps that the hay's not filling. So follow the feeding directions, feed twice a day at least, and know and manage your hay source would be the three things I tell people, whether it's SafeChoice or anything else we offer from Nutrena.
Yeah, that's great advice. And where can listeners find SafeChoice?
SafeChoice itself, the SafeChoice brand, is stocked in over 4,000 feed retailers across the U.S. Tractor Supply, to the local independent feed retailer, we've got over 4,000 retailers that stock SafeChoice today and growing. And so then people ask, well, how do I find out who's closest to me? And that's where horse owners can go to nutrenaworld.com, our website, and right at the upper top right-hand corner, there's a section that says locate a feed retailer or locate a retailer. Just type in your zip code. It'll bring up a map, show you the nearest retailers that we offer in your area. And, with 4,000 stores across the nation carrying SafeChoice, I'd be hard surprised if it's not too far away from about every horse that's out there.
Absolutely. And are there any other feed options from Nutrena that listeners should be keeping an eye out for in the future?
There's always what we're going to come out with in the future. And, I don't want to give away our future plans, but I will tell people to stay tuned. We've got several, we're not done. We're not resting on our laurels here and, hey, we relaunch SafeChoice and go away. We've got several new, more exciting launches coming in the not too distant future. But, going back to that portfolio, that we offer, SafeChoice will hit a lion's share of the needs of most of the horses out there. But we've also got other products out there that really fit different specific, maybe more niche type products or specific needs of specific horses, like ProForce, which is a higher fat, higher performance driven offering that we have also under Nutrena. Our Empower Top Line Balance and Empower Boost product line that, our Empower Top Line Balance adds is a concentrated source of protein, vitamins, minerals to, for those easy keepers, or you want to top dress it on something to get more protein in the diet to build those top lines. Empower Boost is a calorie source. It's a high fat nugget. So if you got a horse that's underweight, you can add Empower Boost to what you're already feeding. That's where that portfolio comes back into play. But people need to stay tuned. We've got some more exciting things to come here very shortly. And we're just going to keep rolling out new stuff into the future.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to it.
Have your listeners make sure and check out nutrenaworld.com and stay up to tune on what we're doing. Follow us on social media. We're in an exciting time of the year with a lot of world caliber competitions going on with the AQHA World Show and the NFR, and following into Winter Equestrian Festival. Stay in touch with us on social media. Watch what our sponsored riders are doing. Check out Nutrena World, and we got exciting things coming.
Thanks for tuning in. Learn more about the Ask Annie podcast by following us on Facebook and Instagram at Ask Annie Podcast. Have a suggestion for a product you'd like me to use in an upcoming episode? Email me at askanniepodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on any of our social media pages. Find even more Ask Annie episodes anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and many more. The Ask Annie podcast is a production of the Equine Podcast Network, an entity of Active Interest Media and the Equine Network.